Don't come. It's VIP only. I'll show you everything online, haha, my sister said. She took my $5,200 and removed me from her birthday RSVP list. I replied, copy. That night, I canceled the venue, blocked the caterer, and sent a message to every guest. Event postponed. Only one person showed up to greet her, my lawyer. Don't come. It's VIP only. I'll show you everything online, haha, my sister said. Then she hung up. No hesitation. No, thank you for the money. Just laughter and a digital wave. I stared at the phone for a long second. Then I opened the last message she'd sent me, a payment request for $5,200 labeled, deposit for venue thank you, and reread it like it was some ancient joke I hadn't gotten the first time. She took my money, removed me from her RSVP list, and now I was supposed to smile through a screen and watch her spin around in a dress I technically funded? I typed one word back. Copy. That night, I canceled the venue. I blocked the caterer, and then I sent a group message to every single guest on her precious list. Hi everyone. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Emma's birthday party has been postponed. Refunds are being processed. Thank you for understanding. Only one person showed up to greet her the next day. My lawyer. But that wasn't the beginning. Not really. It started a long time ago, years before the fancy invitations and flower wall bookings. Back when I was just her older brother, the one who fixed her messes, paid her bills, lied to landlords, wired emergency cash like it was a monthly subscription. Our family has always had this hierarchy. Emma, the princess. Mom, the stage manager. Dad, the microphone no one asked for. Me? I was the spotlight. Used when needed. Turned off the rest of the time. When we were kids, Emma would cry if I didn't let her win. Now she just wins by default. Mom says I should be proud of her. Dad says I should be more like her. Last Thanksgiving, they sat around the table talking about how mature she was for planning a destination party on her own. I had paid for half of it. They knew that. But nobody mentioned my name. They toasted to her success and told me to carve the turkey. This year, she told me not to come at all. But what Emma doesn't understand, what none of them understand, is that I don't make threats. I make plans. And this time, the plan was already in motion. If you looked at my sister's Instagram, you'd think she built an empire from scratch. White loft. Twinkling lights. Acai bowl in front of a MacBook. Caption. Never stop building yourself. From zero to CEO. And I laughed. Because the zero was me. And the CEO was her fantasy. Over the last year, I'd sent her nearly $14,000, officially 4 marketing courses, a new camera, studio rentals for content, allergy treatments, and a brand consultant. Yes, apparently that's a real thing. I never asked too many questions. I was raised to feel guilty for saying no. And when I asked if she could at least credit me once, she said, "It's not sponsorship, it's brotherhood. Your family, right?" In our house, that was a rule. She was the star. I was the producer. But without a contract. Without rights. Without thanks. Mom stayed silent. But it was the kind of silence that dripped with complicity. When I asked why Emma didn't work, why she didn't apply for grants or actual jobs, Mom just sighed and said, "She's fragile, sweetheart. But you're strong." That wasn't love. That was manipulation, sugar-coated in guilt. Dad? He didn't bother hiding behind words. One time I sent them $700 because they said the utilities were overdue. A week later, I saw them on Instagram in a pool. Caption. Family spot A. Love my tribe. They were all there, Mom, Dad, Emma. I wasn't. I messaged them. That the spot you paid with my utility money? Dad replied with a voice memo. What? You counting now? Send an invoice next time, accountant. I tried to stay calm, but then I saw that post. Emma was on a couch, the one I recognized from the apartment I paid for, a glass of wine in hand, lights glowing behind her. Caption. Sometimes success is rising when everyone expected you to fall. Self-made. Luxury. That couch was in a unit rented under her name, but paid with my credit. I was the invisible donor behind her self-made story. And then the bomb dropped. An email from PayPal flagged unusual activity. I opened it. My hands clenched. Emma was using my PayPal to receive donations from followers. $5 here. $10 there. Some $50 drops. Messages like, "Thanks for being so inspiring. Coffee on me, Queen." She had linked her platform to my account months ago when I helped her set up Patreon. Either she forgot to disconnect, or worse, she cloned the credentials and made a shadow account tied to my name. I found payments, notifications, emails, IP logs. I started collecting screenshots, receipts, text threads. I wasn't sure how I'd use them. I just knew something reeked, and I needed it documented. Then came the video. Family group chat. Usually full of forwarded memes and passive-aggressive "when are you visiting" messages. This time, it was different. A video of me on my knees, fixing the sink in my parents' apartment. Filmed from above. My back turned. Grease on my hands. Dad's voice in the background. "Here's my son. The dream plumber. Still works for free." Laughter followed. My cousins responded first. Classic. "Let me know when he's done. I've got a clogged toilet. Should have gone to trade school." Then Emma forwarded the video to her Instagram stories. Her caption? "The best kind of success is staying humble, even when your haters are still under your sink. Hashtag family life." I threw up. For the first time in years physically. I didn't respond. Didn't call. Didn't yell. I opened a new folder on my desktop. Named it Witness Family. I filled it with everything. Screenshots. Payments. Subscriptions. Account links. Patreon messages. And one last file, the one that broke the mask. My parents were in on it. I found an email Mom sent Emma. Subject, as you asked, here it is. It included a copy of my passport, utility statements, and even a screenshot of my banking dashboard. She'd taken it the last time she borrowed my laptop for online recipes. And Dad? He sent Emma a photo of my ID card. Used it to register for a branding grant. Filed under my name. Emma received $3,000 for independent media growth. I never even knew about the application. Emma showed up at the venue in heels that didn't touch the ground. She walked like she was floating, hair blown out, skin glowing from her $300 pre-birthday facial, holding a purse she hadn't paid for. The studio was everything she wanted. White-walled minimalism, soft spotlights, a photo corner labeled Emma's ERA. She smiled to herself. "Let's make history," she whispered. And then she noticed the silence. No chatter. No clinking glasses. No playlist humming low in the background. No one. Just one man sitting in the far corner. Dark gray suit. Leather briefcase by his feet. He looked up when she walked in. "Excuse me," she said, confused but trying to sound confident. "Are you from catering?" "No," he said calmly, standing. "I'm Jacob Reeves, legal representative of Mr. Daniel Reyes." She froze. That name dropped like lead in her stomach. "Daniel." She blinked. My brother?" He nodded, and without another word, handed her a sealed envelope and a flash drive in a black velvet pouch. What is this?" she asked, already dialing her phone. Her hands trembled. "I'll let the contents speak for themselves." "You've been served," he said. And then he turned and left. She stood alone in the rented studio, surrounded by silence, holding a legal envelope and a tiny flash drive like they were grenades. The phone rang twice. Then, "Happy birthday, Emma," I said through the line, low and even. "Enjoy the quiet." "What is this?" she snapped. "Where is everyone?" "There is no everyone," I replied. "The venue is canceled. The guest list? Removed. The catering? Blocked. There's no party happening, Emma. Just the outcome of your own choices." "What are you talking about? You think this is funny?" "No," I said. "I think it's overdue." She tore open the envelope with one hand while gripping her phone with the other. Her eyes scanned the first page, then the second. Her face went pale. You got a lawyer involved," she hissed. "You're insane. This is harassment." "Keep reading." There it was. A compiled breakdown. Screenshots from PayPal showing her rerouting my funds. Patreon backend logs with IP matches to her apartment. Bank transfers she labeled as refunds, but pocketed. A grant registration under my full name, ID, and social security number with a forged signature. "This is fraud," I said. "On paper. In the cloud. On camera. I didn't mean to." "Oh, you meant every second of it. You bragged about it. You built a fake empire on stolen bricks. You told the world you rose from nothing while standing on my back." Emma started pacing. "Daniel, please. This doesn't have to be public. We're family. Can we just talk?" "I tried that," I said. "You laughed in my face. Then uninvited me from the party I paid for. You chose this path, and I just made sure you'd walk it alone." Her voice cracked. "This is cruel. You're humiliating me." "No," I replied, calm as steel. "You humiliated me every time you used my money and called yourself self-made. Every time you stole from me and called it support. Every time you used my name, my ID, to fund your fantasy. You can't ruin me like this," she whispered. I paused. You set this in motion. I just stopped covering for you. She screamed. You did this to me on my birthday? And I delivered the final blow with perfect timing. No, Emma. You did it to yourself. I just chose the date. Click. Call ended. She dropped the phone. The flash drive clattered onto the floor. She stood in the middle of the studio, silent, shaking, watching the white walls close in like a trap. No lights. No guests. No cameras. Just her. And the truth. When the call ended, she stood alone in the studio like a peeled open nerve. The silence wasn't peaceful, it screamed. The heels she'd worn to impress suddenly felt like anchors. Her makeup, applied for cameras and compliments, now felt like a mask she couldn't peel off fast enough. The venue was empty. The gift table, untouched. The flower arch, never delivered. The champagne, canceled. And in her shaking hand, a flash drive that held more weight than any of her fake brand partnerships ever had. She didn't cry. Not yet. That would come later, after midnight, when she sat on her couch, still in the same dress, refreshing her DMs and watching them dry up. That night, she called me 6 times. No answer. She posted nothing. Unusual for her. She didn't even log into her Patreon dashboard, the place she used to call her digital kingdom, because now she knew it was a house built on borrowed bricks and I had just torn out the foundation. The next morning, the notice arrived. Intent to pursue legal damages. Attached was a full summary. Unauthorized access to financial systems, identity misuse, digital fraud. Her email pinged again, PayPal. Her business account had been frozen for irregularities. Then Patreon suspended. Then Instagram flagged her business promotion posts for community violations. She stared at the screen, breath catching like she'd been punched. By noon, the panic turned to rage. She posted a photo, her eyes red, her hair messy, sitting on the edge of her unmade bed. Caption: I was betrayed by my own blood. Never thought my birthday would turn into a legal attack. The comments started light. We love you, Emma. Ignore the haters. But within hours, the shift came. Wait, your brother funded your business? Didn't you say you were self-made? Screenshots are forever. You said he was your personal ATM. And then silence. Again. The court summons arrived 5 days later. Reyes versus Reyes. It felt biblical. She tried to delay. Claimed illness. Emotional distress. Her lawyer requested a postponement. I didn't object. I had all the time in the world. Let her squirm. At the first hearing, she wore all white, like it was a red carpet event. Her voice trembled just enough to sound coached. She claimed I had supported her willingly, that she never imagined I'd weaponized generosity. I sat across the aisle in a sharp navy suit, expression unreadable. I didn't blink when my attorney pressed play on the exhibit audio, her own voice. He doesn't even ask. He just sends the money. He's easy to manipulate if you use the right words. The judge didn't flinch. What followed was a clinical takedown. Bank transfers traced from my accounts to her PayPal and secondary business aliases. A forged grant application submitted under my legal identity, including my passport photo emailed from our mother's account. Back-end IP logs from Patreon matching her apartment. A coaching program she launched using a landing page paid for with my credit. The final nail was a series of DMs between her and a friend, where she boasted. He thinks he's helping me grow. But really, I'm just building my own brand with his guilt. The ruling was swift. $28,432 in stolen funds. $6,000 in compensatory damages. Full repayment of legal fees. A court order preventing future use of my identity. She tried to cry. The judge didn't look up. I did, but I didn't look at her. When her lawyer leaned over and whispered something, perhaps about appealing, she shook her head. Quietly. She knew it was over. The internet found out the next morning. It wasn't me who leaked it. It was at Receipts with Jacob, a legal education TikTok account run by my attorney. Clips from public documents. Redacted screenshots. Timeline breakdowns. The post was titled, When Self-Made Comes with a Receipt Stack. It went viral within hours. Influencer commentary pages reposted it. Small business owners flooded my inbox. A few even asked me to speak on podcasts. The attention wasn't what I wanted. But it wasn't about what I wanted anymore. It was about setting something straight. That's when I launched Silent Ledger. At first, it was a simple blog. Stories from people used by family. Gaslighting. Financial theft. Manipulation masked as love. Then came the submission form. Then the forum. Then the Legal Resource Center. Within a week, it had over 3,000 signups. I added a quiet gallery, real quotes from users, anonymized, displayed on a scrolling banner. He said I owed him for raising me. They called me selfish when I stopped paying their rent. She faked cancer and still expected birthday gifts. I gave and gave and gave. And when I stopped, they called me cruel. I didn't add my quote. I didn't need to. Then came the final wave. A message from my mother. Daniel, she's devastated. Is that what you wanted? Then another. Fix this. Blood matters. I forwarded both to Jacob, who issued a cease and desist. Then came a message from a stranger. I used to follow Emma. I donated to her healing fund. Now I feel sick. But what you did? That was brave. Thank you. I read that one twice. I didn't reply. I just sat at my desk, inside my new space, a clean, sunlit loft paid in full by court compensation. In the corner was a plaque. Silent Ledger HQ. And beside it, a smaller sign, more personal. No entry without proof of honesty. I hadn't changed. I just stopped pretending. The calls had stopped. The chat was silent. The family tree had one less root feeding off me. And for the first time in my life, that silence was peace. Emma didn't pay out of her own pocket. After losing the case, she cried on Instagram stories, said she was financially destroyed, and turned off comments. But a week later, I got a message from my lawyer. Full amount received. Paid via 3 separate accounts. Confirming all restitution completed. One payment came from her new boyfriend, a polished businessman who supported female entrepreneurship. Another came from our parents' retirement fund. The third, anonymous, but I knew it was my mother. She had always known how to stay silent while pushing the knife in. Emma disappeared from social media for a week and a half. Then, right on cue, she came back. A video. Fully produced. White shirt. No makeup. Soft background. The camera blurred just enough behind her to make it feel raw. She stared down the lens like it owed her grace. This isn't easy for me to say. I've hurt people. Especially my brother, Daniel. I took him for granted. I was caught up in building something, and I lost sight of what really mattered. She paused, dramatically. Daniel, I'm sorry. I didn't value you. You didn't deserve what I did. It looked like a confession. Sounded like one. The internet split, half applauding her growth, half suspicious of the timing. It spread fast. TikTok edits. Reaction videos. Think pieces titled, When Influencers Apologize Right. I didn't respond. I didn't even watch it. 3 days later, a new clip dropped. Not from her. Leaked footage. Same chair. Same lighting. The before. While the crew adjusted the camera, Emma joked. God, people are so dumb. Throw in a fake tear and they'll eat it up. Let's get this over with so I can go shopping. She laughed, adjusted her shirt, and added. Maybe I'll get nominated. Best Actress in a Redemption Arc. Then, okay, now record. The internet exploded. Unsubscribes. Screenshots. Angry followers who once donated. Old fans reposting DMs showing she lied, scammed, faked emotional breakdowns. Instagram? Suspended. Patreon? Deleted. Emma tried to play victim again, but this time, no one listened. I still said nothing. Instead, I posted a single screenshot, the thumbnail of her apology video, and captioned it. You almost fooled them. Almost. That post said more than 1,000 threads. My phone stopped buzzing. The family group chat, silent. No more, just checking in from aunts. No more guilt. No more noise. I live differently now. On my birthday, I turned my phone off and drove out of the city. To a small home in the woods. Paid in full. No co-signers. No favors. In the morning, I made coffee and opened the window. The silence wasn't empty. It was full of peace. By noon, I sat on the porch with my laptop. Messages poured into Silent Ledger, the platform I'd built. Because of you, I finally told my mother I'm not her emergency fund. I stopped paying for their lies. And I'm breathing again. I didn't reply to all of them, but I read every word. At sunset, I walked down to the lake. The breeze was soft. The air clean. On the way back, I stopped by the shed, unlocked the old safe, and pulled out a flash drive, the one that held it all. Screenshots. Audio. Banking logs. Brand applications. Digital footprints. I stood in front of the shredder. Paused. Then said aloud. The story's written. I don't need to reread it. I dropped it in. The motor growled, then silence. Back inside, I opened the Silent Ledger homepage. Under the logo, I typed one final line of text. We collect truth. We don't hoard revenge. Then I closed the laptop. No broadcast. No farewell video. Because sometimes closure doesn't come with applause. Sometimes it's just the moment when nothing hurts anymore.